Why do the Palestinians still believe that the international community will give them a state without negotiating? And doesn't time go by? As time goes by, don't the Palestinians continue to lose out?
Well, the fact is, as you will find when you read the book, Palestinian position has gained dramatically over the past few decades, even though they have not succeeded at all in diplomacy. Now think about this. As we describe in the opening pages of the book, in 1982, President Reagan proposed his peace plan for the Middle East. He did not favor a Palestinian state. He wanted Palestinian autonomy under Jordanian sovereignty. He wanted to give the Palestinians in some areas autonomy as part of Jordan. Prime Minister Begin was profoundly offended and in the strongest possible words denounced President Reagan and the Reagan plan. The plan went nowhere. Fast forward. In President George W. Bush's term, he announced that the policy of the United States is unambiguously in favor of a Palestinian state. Palestinians had done nothing in negotiation, and they had made a huge advance to having their primary position, there should be a Palestinian state, not only accepted, but supported and advocated by the world superpower, and now supported by almost all of the countries in the world. Meanwhile, for settlers and others in Israel, their objective now is Jordanian sovereignty over the Palestinians, which was proposed by President Reagan, but rejected by Prime Minister Begin. So paradoxically, from a position of military and political weakness, Palestinians have seen some of their negotiating positions become widely accepted. Now, I say in the book, with alone, we believe that it cannot be imposed externally. It has to come from negotiation. And I tried unsuccessfully to persuade both Arafat and Abbas that they should get into negotiations. They should sit there until they get an agreement and they get a state. It will be less than what they want. They will regard it as unfair. You ask for 2.3% and you might get 6.7%, or they might not like everything. But once they get a state, they can build on it. And I reminded them, when the United Nations proposed in 1947 the partition of the region, they proposed 2 states. There were then 600,000 Jews in the region. The Arabs rejected it. The first war began. Israel prevailed in that, in every war since. And there is not a single rational person in the Middle East or anywhere else who today, from the Palestinian standpoint, would reject what they rejected in 1948. So, and I said to both Arafat and Abbas, you've been waiting 60 years for the perfect solution to come floating down from heaven. It's not coming. And in fact, you can't ever get back this proposal because the circumstances on the ground have changed so dramatically. Take the best offer you can get, a negotiation with the United States participation to help bridge the gaps between the parties, get a state, and build on it just the way the Israelis have done. They've been able to build a state from an original, relatively small number of people, surrounded by 6 countries and massive armies, were able to prevail and build this very successful state. And look, the Palestinians are entrepreneurial, they're intelligent, they're committed to family, committed to education. They could have a successful state if they built on it. And I hope and believe that they will eventually come to accept that as in their self-interest, as I hope the Israelis will come to accept that their self-interest lies in a Palestinian state.